The Bisons and Tigers met for the 61st time on Thursday night in Arkadelphia, but it was the first time as a season opener, and it was a highly anticipated opener, national television. It was two teams ranked in the top 20, and Paul Simmons joins me for the first edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. I know when you walked out of Cliff Harris Stadium, it wasn't the score that any of us wanted, but I know that you were very, very pleased with the effort that your football team put out in front of just what was a great atmosphere.
I'll tell you what, a few things. It was an awesome atmosphere. I was so proud of the way the Bison faithful showed up on a Thursday night to be there pulling for our kids. It was so encouraging to me, encouraging to our guys, and I'm not thrilled with the score. I'm not thrilled with the execution, but I'm obviously really proud of our kids. We have dynamite kids, and that's why it hurt, because we love our guys so much. They love one another so much, and they have invested big time. And so when you do that, it's going to be painful. You put your whole heart in. It's going to get broke some, and so, difficult night for us.
It was a very hot night. It was 88 degrees was the air temperature. I know it was much warmer than that down on the field is what it felt like when the game started. And to have a few extra days before you go into a full week, could that have come at a pretty good time? Because I know everybody was gassed when that thing was over.
Well, it was a hot night, and definitely having that Thursday ball game and getting to give our guys Saturday off, that's a real positive for us right now. It's been a long fall camp. It's been a really hot, long fall camp, and I think that it was really good for our guys and for our coaches to be able to sit back and exhale Saturday and reflect a little bit. But I can tell you what, now we are dying to play again. We are dying to get back in front of our home crowd, and the very best way to deal with disappointment is to go to work and just have a chance to go do it again. So we're excited to go play ball again.
All right, Coach mentioned it. The Bisons are at home coming up this Saturday when they play UAM at First Security Stadium. We'll talk about that later on. But next, we'll start with first half highlights on Harding Football with Paul Simmons.
In your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Paul Simmons, our first edition in 2019. And Coach, in the first segment we talked about the Bison fans that were down there, and boy, they were there to greet the Bisons. And as the Bisons had that, it's a long walk. When you go down to Ouachita and play, that's a long walk from the locker room out to the field.
Yeah, that is a long walk, but you know what? We have always played really well down there. We go over there and the defense gets in the baseball dugout and the offense goes inside, and it's very familiar for us, and we've just played well down there. But yeah, it certainly was a long walk, but we were thrilled to walk out and see all our fans there. It was awesome.
And the first time to play on turf down in Ouachita, I know that looked a little bit strange from up top, and they've had grass for their history.
Yeah, a little bit different, but obviously we're used to playing on turf, but a little different feel playing down there on their turf for sure.
And I felt like the early stages, Coach, the first two series as we get ready to look at highlights, obviously you like kicking the ball away to begin the game. Ouachita won the toss. They wanted the football. Your defense gets off to a great start, and the offense will capitalize right after that. We'll see that in just a second. And I thought special teams coverage was really good on the kick.
They did well. Number 4 is a dangerous return guy, probably the most dangerous return guy in our league, and to keep that guy bottled up was, there's a lot of positives, and that certainly was one of the positives. To come out and kick the ball to them, get a 3 and out, get the ball back. you know, the game could not have started any better for us, obviously.
Chris Wine with great pressure right there, forced that
Yeah,
incompletion.
Chris Wine's gonna have a great season for us. He's a dynamite young man.
And this is a good punt from Ouachita, pins the Bisons deep in their own territory at the 15-yard line. But just a few moments later, that didn't matter. We were all excited with a big play.
Yeah, well, this was exactly what you wanted. Tremendous momentum play, great pass from Preston to Bobby, and boy, he just had enough right there. But yeah, it was a tremendous start for the guys.
Longest passing touchdown for the Bison since 2011, when the Bisons were at Northeastern Oklahoma. So that's quite a while back. But yeah, Bobby Green gets things started off with the touchdown reception there, 85 yards. Extra point is good, and that's a freshman right there adding his first extra point, Grant Ennis.
Yeah, we're awful proud of old Grant. You know, to come in there and kick in that big ball game as a true freshman is not easy, and you know he's kind of got the right stuff as far as his mental makeup. We're really proud of that guy, and he's going to have a good future for us.
Now, Ouachita would put together a good drive right here to answer.
You know, the big deal, and you know, we certainly have a lot to improve on defense, but the fact that we kept those guys out of the end zone, you know, in the first half was dynamite. You know, they put together a couple of decent drives, but you know, to keep them out of the end zone was a big deal. And you know, we've got to get better. We got to get better in lots of areas. I thought that our perimeter defense was not as good as it needed to be, but you know, we still certainly, you know, held a good offense to one touchdown.
Yeah, that was Allie Freeman a few moments ago on that reception. That was his only reception of the first half. That was a positive in the first half.
Right. Great play by Jacory right there. I thought Jacory played really well. Corey Beatty played really well.
Yeah, Corey Beatty, a career high 12 tackles in the game.
Yeah. You know, they had first and goal from the 11 right there, and to hold them to field goals, you know, that's kind of the name of the game when you're playing a high-powered offense. To bend but not break is that's what we need to do.
7-3 Bisons right now as Harding gets the football back. We're still in the first quarter. I'm trying to get something going here on what is the second drive for the Bisons.
You know, we just never could come up with that big play, and you know, honestly, I think there's a lot of turning points in the game, but to me the bottom line is we really made more of the first game type mistakes than they did, and of course you could point to about 10 plays that would have been a difference in the ball game, but you know, it's a detail battle. We knew it was, and we did not win the detail battle.
Moving to the second quarter now, and I know that everyone's happy the sun has gone down now under the lights in the second quarter. And
this was a crucial spot right here. You know, we are in very safe field goal range right here. Take a sack, move that ball back, you know, 7 or 8 yards, and then we bounce the ball off the goalpost. So probably a mistake that on our part, put guys in not a great spot right there. Probably should have run the football and kicked a shorter field goal, but if we would have completed it, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, the Tigers are coming back now 7-3 as they get the football, start moving it down the field and trying to take the lead on this drive, but you alluded to it a few moments ago to continue to hold them to field goals.
You know, but you know, I'm going to be realistic. You know, we didn't tackle as well as I want to. You know, our tackling's got to get better. We missed too many tackles. We have been a great tackling football team, and I think we will be again. But that's an area we got to get better at. Big sack by Dylan Hampton, old senior out there that's kind of waited his turn right there. Huge play in that moment, without a doubt. Again, get the ball inside the 10-yard line and get 3 points. That's a good recipe. Really good ball to Mike Cindric right there. We love old Mike. Mike's a great leader for us.
And the Bisons would convert on a fourth. There was 2 fourth downs in the game. Not on this series, but they were very crucial to keep drives going and to keep the time of possession, keep the football away from the Tigers.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, that punt out there was a big deal. Mm-hmm. You know, they basically sent the whole team to come get us, and we had to get it away. And to get it away without getting it blocked, and also to force, you know, number 4 to make a fair catch, that was a big play. Some things you don't really notice as much.
Yeah, anytime that he is not returning the football, talking about Allie Freeman and no return yards, that's obviously a big deal. And Cameron Scott had 2 punts that were down inside the 20 on Thursday night.
Yeah, we always have a special teams player of the week. And this week we gave it to the punt unit, the whole punt unit, because they, the one that was a big one. Then when they, Viante catching the ball on the 5-yard line, pinning those guys deep late in the ball game, felt huge at the moment. And if we would have pulled the game off, it would have been huge. But that group did a really good job. Coach Tribble coaches that group and does a really good job with those guys.
So the Bisons are going to get a break right here as they head into the halftime locker room with a 7-6 lead down in Arkadelphia on Thursday night. Stay with us. We'll come back and look at second half highlights right after this.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
Because you said rude things about my work, I started to question my own voice.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of your negative comments online, I've almost quit doing the one thing that makes me happiest in life.
Because you shared something about me that was private, I felt embarrassed.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Because of you sharing your story with me, I feel comfortable sharing my own.
Because you were there when I was coming out, you helped me regain my confidence.
I'm still here today because of you.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Paul Simmons. 7-6 at this point in our highlights as we move now into the third quarter. And Bisons would get the football to begin the third quarter and a 7-6 lead. And Coach, I know that's exactly Harding football.
Said we're made, as Coach Mo was talking about.
Yeah, the scenario couldn't have played out better. We have the lead in the football, and we feel like we're a second-half football team. We always have been, and so we definitely, we like where we are at this point.
Tristan Tucker had a big night, and we see him right here with a 23-yard game.
Yeah, Tristan looked really good. He kind of was hobbled during fall camp. I was nervous about him, but he came out and played really well. Of course, right there, Ja'Cory, brought the ball out of the end zone, and so I was going, no, 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 no. Then yes, yes, yes. Good return by that guy.
And I think this was
that was a pretty crucial call right there.
Holding penalty.
Yeah.
It took away a first down, but then the Bisons come right back with Tristan Tucker with an 11-yard run right there. This is on third down. And the first turnover of the football game, and this set Ouachita up to begin their first and only scoring drive of a touchdown. And Allie Freeman was big on this drive for Ouachita.
Yeah, they did a good job. Got some pick routes going, which are not very legal, but they did a good job getting that guy in space and making some plays for us. And we would certainly love to have this drive back.
And Braden Brazil, you give him all the credit in the world. He's a very good quarterback, and he had a good night.
Yeah, he manages the game, takes care of the football, and doesn't get them beat.
So Ouachita,
he can make plays with his feet when he needs to.
Yeah, Ouachita scores. They take the lead, 13-7. Coach, I thought this was a big series after Ouachita gets the turnover, and it started at the 33-yard line, and your defense really stood tall.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They right there, boy, they had a ton of momentum, and we certainly had a chance to kind of give in a little bit, and it looked like we might do that.
Yeah,
but to bow up, stiffen our neck, and so right now we're still in the ball game when that had a chance to get ugly right there for sure.
A 17-yard run from Thomas after that interception. They were deep in your territory, and that's when the defense really stood up, made that missed field goal. And here's another big sack.
Huge sack.
Yeah, second sack for the Bisons on the evening.
Yeah, that was certainly a positive. Those guys really have not given up many sacks usually, and to have two in the first ball game. I tell you what, though, we got to field that punt. I mean, we've got to field the ball and not lose that hidden yardage is a really big deal.
Here goes Tristan Tucker down the sideline and almost scored. And again, this was set up by a punt that was down by Viante Williams that you talked about. And then the defense forced the punt. 51-yard drive right here, and Tristan Tucker, he's smelling the end zone, isn't he?
Yeah, I tell you what, he really does just have a nose for the end zone. And if that guy stays healthy, he's going to have a dynamite season. Really proud of him. He had a great summer, came in great shape, and it really showed.
It was a big play by
had the big play, and then the guy that throws a late hit right there on the linebacker has never played linebacker. I mean, he doesn't understand how hard it is to stop, on a dime right there. Great play by Corey Beatty right there.
And now the fourth down play that the pass interference penalty was called.
And we can argue about that play a lot. I mean, I thought it was a bad call, but the bottom line is we should never have been in that situation. There's lots of things that happened before then that were in our control that if we had taken care of, we wouldn't have been in that situation. I'm proud that they got the first down, had the call, and then our guys came back and got a stop and at least gave us a chance to block a field goal.
Yeah, and you were able to use 2 timeouts to have a little bit of time down the stretch. There was an interception. The pass interference was called on that, so one more shot at it.
Yeah, and obviously we're not, our offense we're not made for 1 minute offense. Right. We could have done that better, but that's not, we don't need to be in that situation without a doubt.
Coach, I wanted to talk about Corey Beatty. I thought he was super with his coverage and also with his tackling all night long before that last play that made it 4th down and 16. He had come up on 2nd down and made a huge tackle out there on the edge. That was a 6-yard
Yeah, made a huge tackle. And, Corey is a guy that has kind of had to wait his turn. Last year, Viante and Frank were starting corners and did a great job. But Corey is a fantastic athlete. Corey is a unbelievable, sweet kid, great competitor. And so to see that guy have a big night and he's an all-conference at least level corner. Sure. And just an awesome kid to be around. So, yeah, really proud of the way he played.
In the individual numbers, Tristan Tucker led the team in rushing as he had 93 yards on 7 carries and the 1 touchdown. Cole Chansey, 72 yards, Coach, in every single yard. It felt like it was tough yardage for him.
And a lot of folks that don't watch the Bisons normally that I heard from that were watching it at home on ESPN, a lot of them said the same thing. Man, your fullback is tough. Yeah. And I just want to say, there's no doubt.
Known that for the last couple of years,
he really is a tough, special kid.
And how important it was for Malik Matthews to be in there. He had 2 long runs. He had the one run of 18 yards there in the first half.
Yeah, Malik last year was a redshirt freshman, and when you're playing that first year, your number one goal is just to keep from messing up. But now he's at that next step where he's ready to make plays for us, and his experience and his maturity is going to really be a good thing for us this year.
We talk about the kicking game. We talked about Ennis and he missed the 1 field goal, but the 2 extra points, especially the last one, that was clutch because it was 13-13 when he hit the extra point to make it 14-13.
Yeah, and the field goal he missed was dead straight. I mean, it was as straight as it can be. He just needed a little bit more leg in it, but we're excited about what that young man can do for us moving forward. And Cameron kicked the ball well. He punted the ball well, kicked off well, and so, our kicking unit did well. I mean, they did all the things they needed to do to give us a chance to win, really besides that field goal. But, we did not lose the game in the kicking unit for sure.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to UAM now. That's Saturday, and we want you to make sure you mark your calendars and get ready for that. UAM, 6 o'clock under the lights at First Security Stadium coming up this Saturday. But when we come out of the break, we have a treat for you, Mills Bryant. We always like to hear from the Bisons. Haley Webb is with him, and we'll hear from Mills Bryant after this break. Welcome back to Harding Football with Paul Simmons. We always like to hear from the Bison players, and Haley Webb caught up with Mills Bryant.
Thanks, Billy. I'm here with junior offensive lineman Mills Bryant, and we're here to learn a little bit more about him today. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Have you heard the hype about the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
I have.
Have you tried one?
I have not gotten to try one yet, because when I was there, they didn't have any left.
Okay, so if you had to guess, would you say Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
I would definitely say Popeyes.
Popeyes,
Yeah.
okay. Believe in the hype.
I believe the hype, no doubt.
Okay, you told me that you like to play 2K, so who's your go-to 2K player or team?
My 2K player that I go to is Giannis Antetokounmpo, no doubt. But if I got to go with the team, I'm going to say the Trailblazers because of CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, just a dynamic duo.
All right. What is your favorite type of music?
I like all types of music, but I like classical music. It kind of chills me out. And so I like the German Requiem by Johannes Brahms. So that's a good one I like to listen to.
You want to sing some of it?
It lasts an hour long, so may want to save that for another time.
Okay, we don't have time for that. What is the most recent book that you've read?
I read A Painted House by John Grisham. That was a good one. Yeah.
Right. And favorite breakfast cereal?
I don't eat breakfast cereal, but I do eat breakfast cereal bars, and so I'd go with, it has to be great value though. The on-brand ones are not good, so I like strawberry fruit and grain bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a Searcy native, what would you say is the best place to eat in Searcy?
Slater's Alaskan Dumplings, no doubt.
Love that place.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
it's awesome. It's fire.
Do you have any pregame superstitions?
I don't really have any pregame superstitions. Just some little thing that I do is I get in the hot tub before home games just to kind of warm up and stuff. But people think that's kind of weird, but I like it.
Hey,
so.
It works for you.
Exactly.
All right, last but not least, give me your best Coach Simmons impersonation.
Okay. Dude, we're out here right next to the Bison Indoor, and let me tell you something right here. This was built by the Brotherhood right here. You got to look at it right here. 130 yards full of brotherhood. That's all it is. Go Bisons.
Well, there you have it. For the Harding Sports Network, I'm Haley Kate Webb with Mills Bryant, and we're sending it back to you guys in the studio.
That is Mills Bryant with Haley Webb, and of course Mills Bryant Jr., Harding Academy, and Coach Simmons. He was doing his best Paul Simmons impression there at the end.
That's pretty good, Mills. Funny guy. Yeah. I love Mills. He's awesome.
And he was standing right in. We haven't talked about it on the show yet, but Coach, I know you've been giving tours of the Huckabee Fieldhouse, and standing right in front of that's where that interview was going. And I know so many people have got a chance to go through that over the last month.
Well, we are, having folks starting to trickle in, and I hate for them to come see it yet because we're not done. And I want them to see it when it's done and everything's finished. But yeah, it's been an incredible blessing for us without a doubt, and it's been a big deal for us this fall, just how hot it's been to be able to get in there and get out of the heat some. But yeah, it's incredible.
And we talked about the heat down there on Thursday night. You're seeing your team. I know I'm watching it from a long ways. I know they were tired when it was over, Coach,
yeah.
But you had to be happy with their conditioning.
I was. We had two guys that were right on the edge of cramping. I think Jacory missed a play or two, but to play in the first game in that kind of heat, and not cramp was a big deal. But I just kind of want to go back to the game in general. Football is an unbelievable teacher of life lessons, especially if it's done the right way. And what we want for our guys, we want our guys to learn the special stuff, to learn the toughness and the resilience and how you handle adversity and what you do when your heart gets broke. But we don't want to go through all the things that it takes to learn that lesson. It's just there's so much more that you learn when you lose, unfortunately. So, we really have tried to flip our thinking to every struggle is training. This is training. This is training. This is training for our life. This is training for being a dad. This is training for being a Christian servant. Every time we have a setback, we have to view that as training, because if we're the right kind of people, it is training. It's been training for me because it's difficult and I have not slept well. But I got to remember what my goal is, and my goal is not to win ball games. But I promise you that every time the Bisons get beat, we come back better. We come back better because of who we are. We're going to look at every corner of our program and fight for every single inch, but we will keep getting better and better. We don't go the opposite direction, and that is a promise to the Bison Nation that will happen.
Up next for the Bisons on Saturday night, I alluded to it, UAM, and coming up, it's a UAM team that won a very tough football game this past Thursday night. We'll come back and look ahead to UAM right after this.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You a good girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
take care.
We will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Back on this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons, and Saturday night under the lights at home at First Security Stadium. 6 o'clock when the kickoff is, but we want you to come early. There's going to be a lot of fun with the tailgating and everything going on. And a Weevil team, UAM, coming in with an overtime victory under their belt. They beat Tech 26-23 on Thursday night. So, Coach, it's going to be exciting to be at home.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, Coach Hud has those guys playing well. He's got a lot of speed on both sides of the football. You know, they won 6 ball games last year. They're gonna come in here fired up. So it's a big, important game for us. Huge game, chance to get it home. Guys, we would love to see you there. Love to see you on the front lawn of the Gaines. You know, we bring your fans. We've got electricity. You can plug your fans in and cool off out there. But I hope that everybody at home realizes what a giant boost it is for our young men to see that front lawn covered on game day. And I promise you we're going to play really hard and represent the Bison Brotherhood the right way Saturday. But we need you guys with us.
Yeah, and it's particularly important for them to be there early for the Brotherhood walk when the guys come through.
No doubt about it. Brotherhood walk at 3:45, and we would love to see as many possible there for that.
Yeah, and a lot of folks may be getting their first look at the Huckabee Fieldhouse coming up this Saturday, and we will look forward to seeing you at First Security Stadium. Coach, always great to be with you, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Billy.
That's all for this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons.